Cary Grant, Rosalind Russell.
The Gulf Screen Guild Theater. Your host, the director of the Star's own theater, Roger Pryor.
Good evening, everyone. Your neighborhood good Gulf dealer and the Gulf Oil Companies welcome you to the Gulf Screen Guild Theater. During the next half hour, you're going to hear a rollicking yarn about the craziest business in the world, the newspaper game. It's His Girl Friday, starring Rosalind Russell and Cary Grant, with music by Oscar Bradley's Gulf Orchestra with Frank Tours conducting. In just about 2 quick ticks of a watch, our 2 box office champions will come out of their corners fighting. While we're waiting for that to happen, I'd just like to remind you folks that today you're getting a lot more car for your money than ever before. And you might naturally think that the bigger the car, the more complicated the engine, the more care you'd have to give it. But thanks partly to your friend, the good Gulf dealer, cars today are actually easier to care for. Of course, there are some mighty important things to see to. Such things, for instance, as checking the oil, the water, and the tires. If things like that aren't done and done regularly, you may be in for a heap of trouble. That's why it's just plain common sense to stop at your local Gulf dealers. You see, he's trained himself to look after such things. Every month, he gets a special 8-page folder with information about the latest cars, how to care for them, what things to look for that might cause you trouble. So give him a chance to give you really top-notch service. Tomorrow, stop at the sign of the Gulf Orange Disc at your neighborhood good Gulf dealers. And here come the stars. Cary Grant and Rosalind Russell are just making their entrances on our Gulf Theater stage. The house lights fade, and here are Rosalind Russell as Hildy Johnson and Cary Grant as Walter Burns. I'll play the part of Bruce Baldwin. And now, His Girl Friday. The office of Walter Burns, managing editor of the Morning Post. The door opens to admit Hildy Johnson, ex-star reporter and former wife of Walter Burns, who has dropped in for a farewell visit with her one-time husband. Walter's busy talking on the phone and doesn't see Hildy.
Don't give me that, Duffy. You drag your bloody carcass out of that juke joint. Find the governor. You are too in a juke joint. I can hear music through the phone.
You tell him, Walter.
Shut up. Now listen, Duffy, the governor has to sign that reprieve because if Earl Williams gets hung tomorrow morning, the Morning Post is washed up. Now find the governor. Of all the petrified pit... Hildy!
Hello, Walter.
Well, Hildy. Gee, it's good to see you.
Thanks, Walter.
Let's see, how long has it been?
Well, I was in Reno 6 weeks, then Bermuda, about 4 months, Walter.
Ah, Hildy, you look wonderful. Yep, you look like the latest edition right off the press.
And aren't you sorry your subscription's been canceled?
Hildy, I could cry. You did the wrong thing. You never should have divorced me. Makes a fellow lose all faith in himself. Gives him a feeling he wasn't wanted.
Now, that's a beautiful understatement, but you see, that's what divorces are for.
Nonsense, Hildy. You got the old-fashioned idea that divorces last till death do us part. Well, divorce doesn't mean anything today. Hildy, we've got something between us nothing can change.
Oh, I suppose that's true in a way.
Atta girl.
I just wish you weren't such a stinker. Now, why did you promise not to fight our divorce and then do everything you could to gum up the whole works?
Oh, well, I was only a husband trying to protect his home.
What home?
What home? Don't you remember the home I promised you since we got back from our honeymoon 5 years ago?
No, what a honeymoon. Instead of 2 weeks in Atlantic City, we spent 2 weeks in a caved-in coal mine with a man named Krupski.
Yeah, wasn't that a whale of a story? Oh, look, what's the use of fighting, Hildy? You come back to work on the paper, and if we find we can't get along in a friendly way, we'll get married again.
What? Oh, Walter, you are wonderful in a loathsome sort of way. Well, thanks be to heaven, you're no longer my husband and no longer my boss. Look, third finger, left hand.
Very pretty ring.
Isn't it?
Yep. Wonderful what you can buy at the dime stores.
Now, this was given to me, Walter. I am getting married. And I'm also getting as far away from the newspaper business as I can get.
Really? What'd you do? Get some poor guy drunk, make Google eyes at him?
Why, you bumble-headed baboon, if you
All
don't stop
right,
talking...
all right. Go ahead, get married. I know his type, one of those matrimonial draft dodgers. Where'd you meet this heel?
On the beach in Bermuda.
What is he, a beachcomber? What's his name?
His name is Bruce Baldwin, and he's in the
Baldwin?
insurance business. And he's kind and he's sweet, and he treats me like a woman.
How did I treat you? Like a water buffalo?
And he wants a home and children.
Ooh, my, it sounds more like a guy I ought to marry. Hey, don't you think I ought to meet this paragon and, well, you know, sort of congratulate him?
That's so sweet of you, Walter, but when you're sweet, somebody always gets loused up.
Oh, no. Hildy, you don't mean to say you're afraid to have me meet him?
Afraid? Now, why should I be afraid? I'll call him in. He's right outside.
Baldwin? I knew a Baldwin once. Pickpocket in St. Louis. Couldn't be...
Oh, Bruce.
Yes, Hildy?
Come in, dear.
Is anything wrong?
No, everything's under control. Bruce, I want you to shake hands with the best managing editor and the worst husband I ever had, Walter Burns.
Well, this is a mighty fine pleasure, Mr. Burns.
Well, thank you, Bill. Give me back my hand, will you? Well. You're the lucky man, huh? You know, Bruce certainly hate to lose Hildy. She's a fine newspaper man. If I ever needed her, this is the time.
Now, no orchids,
Let's handle the
Walter.
Williams case,
Well, I'm
Bruce.
afraid I'm behind in the news, Mr. Burns. Who is Earl Williams?
Well, he was just a poor little bookkeeper who lost his job. He went screwy, traveling around the parks making soapbox speeches. A cop came to quiet him down, Bruce. Yep, Williams shot the cop, and tomorrow morning, Williams hangs.
Well, if Williams was crazy when he did it, why doesn't the state put him away?
No, because there's an election coming up in a few days, and the mayor is using the gallows for a bandwagon.
Yeah, the mayor would hang his own grandmother to be reelected.
Well, I'm certainly glad you told me. I won't vote for him.
Spoken like a true rover boy, Bruce.
Now, look, Walter. Don't they have to have another expert examine Williams before they hang him?
Sure, a guy named Engelhoff going to do it. He'll say Williams is sane just like the rest.
Well, suppose he does.
What do you mean, Hildy?
Now, look, Walter, why don't you get an interview with Earl Williams?
Uh-huh.
Then print Engelhofer's statement.
Yeah.
And right alongside of it, double column
Yeah,
stuff.
go on.
You run the Williams interview.
Uh-huh.
Alienist says he's sane, and the interview shows he's goofy.
Oh, Hildy, it's wonderful. You could do it. You could save that poor devil's life.
Yes, I know. Oh, no, I couldn't, Walter.
No, she
Bruce
couldn't.
and I are taking the 4:00 train to his home in Albany.
Now, Hildy, we could take the 6 o'clock train if it would save a man's life.
No,
Hey,
Bruce.
listen to Bruce.
No, Bruce, I am through with this crazy business.
Well, that's right. Now, look, Brucey boy, I'll tell you what. You persuade Hildy to do this story, you can write yourself a nice fat policy for me.
Oh, Mr. Burns, I couldn't use my wife for business purposes.
Now, wait a minute, Bruce. What's the commission on a nice fat policy of, say...
Say $10,000.
No, let's
quick.
say $100,000.
Too quick. All right, 100,000. Now, wait a minute. 100,000.
Well, the commission on that would be $1,000.
Bruce, we could use the $1,000. Now, how long would it take to have Walter examined?
Oh, I could get a company doctor here in 10 minutes.
How about it, Piker?
Oh, I thought you meant me. Okay, get the company.
All right, it's a deal. Now, look, Bruce, I'll be in the press room of the criminal courts building. That's right by the jail where they've got Williams. Now, you phone me as soon as you've got Walter's check, and be sure it's certified.
Huh. Maybe you'd like my fingerprints, too.
No, thanks. I've still got those. Hey, Bruce, how much money have you got on you?
$500.
It'll be safer with me.
But, Hildy,
Now, really, dear, I know what I'm doing. Mr. Burns might get you into a crap game.
But, Hildy, I don't gamble.
Darling, I knew a little man once who didn't drink till he met Walter Burns. Now they've got him in a bottle at Harvard. Now, let me have the money, dear.
Well, all right, here.
Thank you, darling. Now, Walter, no tricks.
No tricks, Hildy. Honest, across my heart. I'll even go further than that.
I know. You'll double-cross mine.
Criminal Court's press room.
Who? Hey, Hildy, it's for you.
Thanks, Jake. Hildy Johnson speaking. Oh, hello, Bruce. You got the check? Certified? Oh, fine, dear. Wait a minute, though. Maybe it isn't so fine. Look, Bruce, put the check in your hat. In your hat, dear. Yeah, I know it sounds silly, Bruce, but do it for me. And don't let Mr. Burns see you. That's fine, dear. Now go right down to the railroad station and wait for me. I'll be there just as soon as I can.
Hello, Walter Burns speaking. Who? Oh, yes, Louis. Look, I've got a job for you. No, you don't have to croak anybody. All you have to do is pick up a beefy gent by the name of Bruce Baldwin at the railroad station. He's got my certified check in his wallet. And I want that check back, you understand? Great. Oh, Louis. Do you think you could fix it so that Mr. Baldwin would be very busy around 4 o'clock? Fine, thanks.
Hello, Hildy Johnson speaking. Yes, Bruce. Where are you? You're what? In jail? For stealing whose watch? His name is Louis. Now, listen, don't worry, dear. Just hang up and I'll get you out of there right away. That double-faced, triple-crossing, two-timing snake. I'll show him he can't. Hello? Hello, Walter. I've got some news for you. Now get this, you double-crossing chimpanzee. If I ever lay my 2 hands on you again, I'll hammer that monkey skull of yours so hard till it rings like a Chinese gong. Oh, you don't you? Well, maybe Louis can tell you why Bruce is in jail for stealing somebody's watch. Goodbye, you run-over heel. I'm going to Albany, and you can go to... Well, boys, you heard it. So long, you copy slaves.
Oh, you're leaving, Hildy? It does my heart good to hear Walter Burns told off. When we see you again, Hildy.
You in the criminal courts building are never going to see me again, Jake. I'm going to be a wife and not a news-getting machine for a two-faced maniac. I'm never even going to read a newspaper again. I'm going to Albany and settle the...
Hey, what's that? It's a jailbreak.
Hey, look, it's Williams. He's crawling along the edge of that roof there.
Get out of my way. Hello, Murphy speaking. Give me the desk.
Hey, Mike, get this.
Hello.
Earl
Hello,
Williams
Walter.
just...
Hildy, shut up, you lughead, and get this. Earl Williams just escaped from the county jail. Yes, don't worry, Walter. Hildy's on the job. Hello, Walter. Hildy.
What goes on? Thought you were on the job.
Yes, Weasel. I gotta get the exclusive story, and I've got it now on Williams and how he escaped. But it cost me $500 to tear it out of the warden.
Never mind that. What's the story?
You'll get it when you pay me the $500. That money belongs to Bruce.
Oh, you'll get it back. I swear it on my mother's grave.
All right, wait. Just a minute. Your mother's alive.
All right, on my grandmother's grave. Don't be so technical.
Well, send over the money and you get the story. Otherwise, no soap.
What's the matter with you, Hildy? Why worry about a little money? I'll see that you get it right away. Hold the wire a second. Louis.
Yeah, boys.
I need $500 worth of counterfeit money.
No, I just happen to have it on me.
Thanks. Hello, Hildy. The money's on the way. Louis is starting right now. He'll be there with the 500 in 15 minutes. He's got to pass the bank anyway.
Okay, Walter. Wait a minute. It's after 3 o'clock. The banks are closed.
Not to Louis. Now listen, Hildy. While you're waiting, see if you can dig up an eyewitness.
Okay, Walter. I'll call you back a little later. What a day.
Come in here, Fred. I think we can... Oh, hello, Miss Johnson. I thought this room was vacant.
Greetings, Sheriff Hartwell.
Hello, Hildy.
And the mayor, too. Well, I imagine after what's happened, you two boys want to be alone. Be seeing you on the front page.
Huh. Did you hear that, Sheriff? This blunder of yours will make me the laughing stock of the town.
No, Mayor. Williams can't get away.
If he does, I'm absolutely washed up in next week's election. Why, his hanging was one of my solemn campaign promises. What do you want?
My name is Pettibone.
I don't care who you are. I said, what do you want?
I'm looking for Sheriff Peter B. Hartwell.
I'm the mayor. He's the sheriff.
Go away, Mr. Pettibone. I'm busy.
But, Sheriff, I've got a message for you from the governor. It's a reprieve for Earl Williams.
What?
What does this mean, Sheriff? You promised me there wasn't going to be a reprieve.
Well, now, Fred, how did I know?
Mr. Pettibone. Who else was there when the governor gave you that reprieve?
Why, nobody, Mayor. He was out fishing.
Hello? Yes, this is the sheriff. What? Holy Moses. Fred, the rifle squad has Williams trapped right up on the roof.
Cover up that mouthpiece. Listen, you, Mr.
Pettibone.
Pettibone. You never arrive at this reprieve.
Yes,
see?
but I'm
Here's
really-
$100, it says you did.
Oh,
You
well,
understand? You never brought this reprieve.
Well, I don't know whether my wife would
Here,
like
you
to...
go to this address, and you forget you ever had a wife. You told the mayor sent you. Goodbye.
Fred, the captain in charge of the rifle squad is still on the phone.
Good.
Well, what'll I tell him to do about Williams?
You tell him to shoot to kill.
Hello, Walter. Hildy. I'm back in the press room. I just called to say goodbye.
Oh, you got the money?
Yes, Louis brought the 500, and I'm going to get Bruce out of jail on the way to the railroad station.
No hard feelings, Hildy.
No, of course there's no hot... Walter,
What's the matter?
there's someone at the window. He crawled down from the roof. Walter, listen.
Drop that phone.
Williams.
Stand back.
Put that gun down, Earl.
No, I won't.
You're not going to shoot me, Earl. Why, I'm your friend.
I don't believe you. You're going to tell them I'm here, so they'll hang me.
Earl, put down that gun.
I'm going to kill you.
Earl!
I guess I used all the shells. I can't shoot you. I can't shoot anybody.
Earl, you must never do that again. Give me that gun.
I'm awful tired. I couldn't go through another day like this.
I couldn't go through the last minute.
Oh, they'll hang me now, right out there, right through the gallows.
No, they won't. Look, now listen, don't worry, Earl. I'll save you. If there were only some place to... Earl, get in that desk.
Oh, no, it's too late.
No, it isn't too late. The desk. The other reporters won't find you in there. Get in the big roller-top desk and pull the lid down. Come on, Earl, get in.
Well, all right.
You can trust me, Earl. Now listen, pull the lid down and remember, whatever happens, don't make a sound. Hello, Walter. Are you still there? Listen, I'm all right. I really am. Now listen, stick on that hat of yours and beat it over here as fast as you can. I've got the hottest exclusive story in town wrapped up in a roller-top desk. Mr. Burns, believe it or not, your ace reporter, Hildy Johnson, has just captured Earl Williams.
And that, folks, was Act One. Cary Grant and Rosalind Russell will be back following our usual brief intermission, which we will put to good use with some mighty helpful information.
A man or woman who drives a car hears a lot of talk about motor oils, and a good deal of it can be mighty confusing. And yet, any motorist can easily determine just how good a motor oil actually is. You can tell with your eyes, your ears, and your pocketbook. Take Gulf Pride motor oil, for instance. Use Gulf Pride in your car, and your eyes tell you that Gulf Pride stays up to the full mark a long, long time. Your ears tell you that Gulf Pride helps keep your motor purring like a contented kitten. And your pocketbook tells you that Gulf Pride helps keep repair bills down with a capital D. That's because Gulf Pride motor oil is refined by the famous Alchlor process, a process that makes Gulf Pride more resistant to the chemical breakdown of oil that's caused by air. So, being more air-resistant, Gulf Pride forms less sludge, less carbon, less engine varnish. Naturally, then, it lasts longer, gives you finer lubrication, and saves you money. So next time, let your eyes, your ears, and your pocketbook be your guide, and get Gulf Pride motor oil.
Now the curtain of the Gulf Screen Guild Theater is ready to rise on the second act of Ben Hecht and Charles MacArthur's great play, His Girl Friday, starring Rosalind Russell as Hildy Johnson and Cary Grant as Walter Burns, her ex-husband and managing editor of the Morning Post. It's a short time later, and Walter, in response to Hildy's excited summons, has arrived at the press room of the Criminal Courts Building. He's bending over the roll-top desk where Hildy has hidden the escaped Earl Williams. Hildy, having completely forgotten that Bruce Baldwin, her fiancé, is still waiting for her to get him out of jail, is pounding out her story on the typewriter.
Give it all you got, Hildy, and get it smeared over the front page. Earl Williams captured by the Morning Post. Hey, Williams, how are you doing in there?
Let me out. I can't stand it.
Keep quiet. I kept the blonde in there for 3 days. Once, what have you got to squawk about?
Maybe he wants you to put the blonde back.
Hello? Yep, Duffy. Duffy, here's your lead for that story. The blackest page in American history. You got that? Set it up. I'll shoot you the copy just as fast as Hildy pounds it out. And
Walter,
Duffy.
I just happened to think.
Hello, Duffy. You still there? All right, look. Send over Butch and a dozen strong-arm guys. I want to move Williams and the desk out of here.
Walter, I've got to go.
We'll load out the window with pulleys, you dope. Can you imagine that? Hey, Hildy, where do you think you're going?
I've got to get Bruce out of jail.
Are you crazy? How can you worry about a man who's resting in a nice, quiet police station while this is going on? Hildy, this is war. You can't desert me.
I've got to collect Bruce and catch that train. We're getting married.
You drooling idiot. There's 365 days in a year you can get married. How many times you got a murderer locked up in a desk? Once in a lifetime. Hildy, you've kicked over the city hall like an apricot. You got the man, the sheriff, backed against the wall. This isn't just a newspaper story. It's a career. And you stand there worrying about getting married.
Gee, Walter, I never figured it that way.
Aye, Hildy, they'll be naming streets after you. There'll be statues of you in the park. The radio will be after you. The movies. By tomorrow morning, I bet you there's a Hildy Johnson cigar. I can see the billboards now. It says, "Light up with Hildy Johnson."
Oh,
Can't you
Walter,
see it?
stop that hammering. We got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, now you're talking. Now, as soon as Butch and the boys get here, we'll move Williams and the desk over to my office. Now, sit down that typewriter. Get the story
All
rolling.
right, Walter. Can I call the mayor a bird of prey?
Call him anything you like. Give him the works. What the blazes happened to Butch? Why doesn't he... Is that you, Butch?
No, it's me, Bruce.
Oh, ain't Sebastian, Bruce. Now, what the devil do you want? Why don't you stay in jail?
Well, I've got to talk to Hildy.
Well, come on in. I got to keep this door shut.
Hildy? Hildy?
What? Oh, Bruce, how did you get out of jail?
Well, not through any help of yours. Will you please tell me?
I'd be trying
You
to
tell him
you.
nothing. He's a spy, Hildy.
Now, you keep out of this.
Hello? Yes, this is Walter Burns.
Hildy, what happened to
A
you?
story, Bruce, a wonderful story.
Now, wait a minute, Butch. What do you mean
You know
can't
what I
come
had
over?
to do, Hildy? I had to wire home for $100
Really,
for
I'm
bail.
sorry, Bruce. Really, here's your $500 you gave me to keep. I'll explain everything later.
Now, listen, Butch, I'm depending on you. Wait a second. Hildy, will you please get going on that story?
Yes, Walter, excuse me,
But,
Bruce,
Hildy,
please.
this isn't the money I gave
Oh,
you.
I know. I spent that. I got this from Walter.
Now, get this straight, Butch. You make tracks over here.
Hildy, dear, I'm taking that 9 o'clock train.
And don't forget to bring your gang.
Are you coming to Albany with
But
me,
I'm
Hildy?
pounding on you, Butch. Don't let me down.
Did you hear me? I said,
Bruce,
are you
please,
coming?
I'm trying to write.
Why, Hildy.
Kind of girl, Hildy.
Now, you shut up, Mr. Burns.
What?
You're doing all this to her. Hildy, I don't think you love me at all.
Darn it, I broke my nail.
Yeah,
Look
see
at
what you
that.
did? You broke her nail.
I see what you are now. You're just a reporter. A story means more to you than a clean, honest life in Albany.
Oh.
But in case you come to your senses, I'll be at the station waiting for the 9 o'clock train. Goodbye.
Now, can you imagine a guy like that? Now, come on, Hildy. Keep that typewriter hot.
Now, look here, you. I can't stay in here any
Hey,
longer.
Williams, get back in that desk, you mock turtle, and stay there. Don't come out again unless you hear 3 knocks. Like that. Now, you got that? Good. Now, sit tight. Now, how's it coming, Hildy?
Pretty good. Where's Bruce?
Bruce? Who's Bruce? Oh, Bruce! He went out to get a cup of coffee.
Oh, is he coming back?
I didn't...
You hear what he said? Sure, he's coming back.
Oh.
He'll be back any minute. Keep that coffee rolling. Hello, Duffy? Well, where is Duffy? Oh, he is? All right. When he comes back, trying to get Malone and his boys. I got a hunch Butcher's rented on us. Call me back. Well, what have you got, Hildy?
And while hundreds of the sheriff's relatives spread their reign of terror, Earl Williams was lurking just 20 yards away.
All right, pick up your
Meanwhile,
teeth.
the mayor, you double
What have you in there for?
I mean you backfiring Zach Hunter. I just remembered.
Remember what?
Bruce isn't coming back here at all. He said he was taking the 9 o'clock train.
Oh, well, in that case, he's gone by now. Don't sit there like a frozen robin. Get on with the story.
What a sap I am.
Yes, well, now you've had a nice rest. Get back to work.
I'm not going back to work, Walter Bain. No, listen to me. I've still got 10 minutes to meet Bruce and catch the 9 o'clock train, and I'm going.
Now, Hildy, don't open that door.
I'm going to Bruce.
Hildy, don't!
Just don't try and stop me, that's all.
Hello, Hildy.
Oh, hello, Sheriff.
We were just looking for you.
Listen, Sheriff, I've got a train to catch.
Better hold it, Sheriff.
Yeah, she and Walter Burns are cooking up something.
Now, wait a minute, boys. What do you mean by breaking in here like this?
Oh, let go of me, will you?
Ask her where Williams is.
Hildy doesn't know anything.
Hildy, I want you to talk.
All right, what do you want me to say?
What do you know about Earl Williams?
What do you know about Earl Williams?
Oh, I got ways of making you talk. Hildy, you're under arrest. And you too, Burns.
Who's under arrest? Listen, you insignificant, square-toed, droop-snooted spy. Do you realize what you're doing?
I'll show you what I'm doing. Burns, you're obstructing justice, and I'm going to see that you're fined $10,000.
You'll see nothing of the kind till work.
And I'm going to begin by impounding the Morning Post property. Is that roller-top desk yours?
No.
There! Why, of course it is, Hildy. Why lie to the sheriff?
Huh?
Sheriff, I dare you to move that desk out of here.
Oh, why, yes, Sheriff. You just dare move it out.
I warn you, Sheriff, you touch this desk, you'll be sued.
What was that? There's someone in that desk.
No, it was just my knees knocking, Sheriff.
You've got Williams in that desk. Stand back, everybody. Get out your guns, men.
No, wait a minute. Don't shoot him. He's harmless.
Williams is a dangerous criminal. Shoot right through the desk.
No.
Call Duffy.
Keep away from that pole.
You want to get a scoop, you beetle-faced mongoose?
Everybody aim at the center. When I say 3,
That's murder.
1, 2,
Hello, Daily Bulletin. Hold the press.
and...
Williams!
I couldn't stay on there any longer, Miss Hildy. Go ahead, Sheriff. I give up. Go ahead. Shoot me.
He's unarmed, boys. We got him.
Flash, Earl Williams captured in criminal court's press room.
Handcuff him, boys.
Flash, Williams in desperate struggle, but police overpowered him.
Take him away, boys. I'll be with you as soon as I finish with these two.
Come on, Williams.
Ah, Duffy, the Morning Post just turned Williams over to the sheriff.
Oh, give me that phone, Burns.
Well, Sheriff, what's all the excitement?
We got Williams, Mayor. Caught these two red-handed trying to kidnap him.
Splendid, Sheriff. I think they both get 10 years for this.
Anytime you think you can lick the Morning Post, Mayor, it's time for you to get out of town.
We've been in worse jams than this, haven't we, Hildy?
No, Walter, we haven't.
Thanks, Ed. You forget the power that always watches over the Morning Post, man. Hello, Duffy. Get my lawyer.
All the lawyers in the world aren't going to... Hey, boy. Pettibone. I mean, who is this man?
Why, don't you remember me, Mayor? I'm the man that brought you the Earl Williams reprieve.
Wait a minute. You don't mean a reprieve from the governor.
Of course not.
Oh, but of course, yes. And here's your money back, Mayor. My wife said I shouldn't take bribes.
Bribes? Who was trying to bribe you?
$100, that's all he gave
Well, the
me.
man's an imposter. I never...
Besides, he's insane.
You're both another. Why, I gave them the Earl Williams reprieve hours ago, but they gave it right back to me and $100 to forget all about it.
Uh-huh. So you would hang an innocent man, would you?
Trying to swing an election with a rope, eh?
No. I wouldn't hang an innocent man. But my dear girl, you've got the wrong attitude.
My dear man, Williams almost got the wrong altitude.
Now, let's forget this little incident. Come along, Sheriff. We'll take dear Mr. Pettibone over to the warden's office and deliver this reprieve ourselves. I'm sure it's all a little misunderstanding that might happen at any time.
That was a tight squeeze, Walter.
Yeah. Hello, give me Duffy.
Oh, of course, there was the time we stole old lady Haggerty's stomach off the coroner's table.
Yeah, we've had some swell times, Hildy. A million laughs, but it's all over and you're doing the wise thing, Hildy. The newspaper game is a bad business. Well, you better get going. Meet Bruce.
Oh, gee, Bruce is gone by this time.
Well, send him a wire, honey. Meet him in Albany.
You really mean that, Walter?
Sure, I mean it. Now, can't you understand I'm doing something noble for once in my life? Get out of here, honey, before I change my mind.
Walter, gee, listen a minute, will you?
Now, I know I made fun of Bruce. I know I got him in Dutch. You know why?
Why, Walter?
Because I was jealous of him.
You were?
Yes.
Yes, because he can give you the sort of life you want, Hildy. I'm sorry. I promise you Bruce will have no more trouble.
Well, I could stay and do the story and take the train in the morning.
No. Forget it. You better go. Hello, Duffy. Read me what you got so far.
I'll get the other phone. Hello. Yes, this is Hildy Johnson. The 43rd Street Police Station. Did you say Bruce Baldwin? Arrested again? For passing counterfeit money?
Oh, hold on, Duffy. A little trouble coming up on this end.
Sure it's counterfeit? And he says I gave it to him. Oh, I see. Goodbye.
No. Hildy, I think I can explain. I don't blame you for being mad, and, well, if you're going to throw that telephone at me, go ahead, get it over with.
Oh, Walter, you darling.
Oh, honey, what are you crying about? Oh, now, you never cried before.
Oh, I thought you really wanted me to go away with Bruce. I thought you didn't love me.
Oh. Now, what were you thinking with, honey?
I don't know. Well, what are you standing there gawking for? Send Louis down to the jail and give Bruce some honest money so he can go back to Albany where he belongs.
Yes. Hello, Duffy. Everything's fine now. Hildy and I are coming back to the office. No, she's not quitting. We're going to be married again.
Walter, can we go on a honeymoon this time?
Certainly, darling.
Gee.
Duffy, you can be managing editor while I'm on my honeymoon.
Atlantic City, Walter?
Yeah, Atlantic City, Hildy.
A whole 2 weeks, Walter?
Certainly, a whole 2... Wait a minute. What's that, Duffy? A strike? What strike? In Albany? Oh, well, now I can't ask Hildy to go and cover
All right. We'll honeymoon in Albany.
Fine. Hey, Hildy.
What?
Well, I just thought of something. Albany.
What is it, Walter?
Hey, I wonder if Bruce has got a spare room.
Thank you, Cary Grant and Rosalind Russell. It was swell of you to give up time from busy shooting schedules to do this performance tonight in the Gulf Screen Guild Theater. As you know, ladies and gentlemen, our stars contribute their performances here in the Gulf Theater, and the money which the stars would normally receive, Gulf gives instead to the Motion Picture Relief Fund toward the building of a home for the less fortunate members of the picture industry. Next week, the Marquis of the Gulf Theater will read Ginger Rogers and William Powell. Ginger Rogers, in her first radio appearance since winning the Academy Award, starred with one of your favorite screen comedians, William Powell, in Lucky Partners. It's a story about a girl and a psychology-minded artist whose luck changes the minute they meet. Everything goes splendidly until they decide to go on an experimental vacation together a week before the girl is to marry another man. It's one of the funniest comedies of the season. There'll be music, of course, by Oscar Bradley's Gulf Orchestra with Frank Tours conducting. So tune in the Gulf Screen Guild Theater next Sunday night at this same time. It's William Powell and Ginger Rogers in Lucky Partners. Rosalind Russell will soon be seen in MGM's The Uniform. Cary Grant's latest for Columbia Pictures is Penny's Serenade. And remember, you've a date to attend the Gulf Theater a week from tonight when we present Lucky Partners, starring Ginger Rogers and William Powell. Until next week, then, this has been Roger Pryor speaking for your neighborhood Good Gulf dealer.
Ginger Rogers, William Powell.
The Gulf Screen Guild Theater. Your host, the director of the Star's own theater, Roger Pryor.
Good evening, everyone. Your neighborhood Good Gulf dealer and the Gulf Oil Companies welcome you to the Gulf Screen Guild Theater. Everything about tonight's play is lucky. It's the story of two people whose luck changes when they go on an experimental honeymoon together. The title is Lucky Partners, and we're lucky to have as our stars this year's Academy Award winner, Ginger Rogers, and your favorite screen comedian, William Powell. Of course, there's music by Oscar Bradley's Gulf Orchestra with Frank Tours conducting. And in just a moment, the curtain will rise on the first act of Lucky Partners, starring William Powell and Ginger Rogers. During the past few weeks, as you know, I've mentioned little things of interest about your good Gulf dealer. Well, I was just thinking that it would certainly be interesting to set up a candid microphone outside almost any good Gulf dealers and ask folks why they stop there. A housewife might say, I like the Gulf dealer because he's a good housekeeper. Notice how clean and neat he keeps his station. A man who takes particular pride in his car probably would comment on the extra courtesy services like wiping your windshield, checking your tires, your oil level, and your radiator, wiping off your headlights, or some of the other services that make motoring so much more enjoyable and carefree. And lots of people would probably comment on the friendly, helpful spirit with which the Gulf dealer welcomes motorists to the sign of the Gulf orange disc. Tonight, or tomorrow morning, sure, stop at the sign of the orange disc in your neighborhood and get acquainted with the independent good Gulf dealer. Notice how systematically he services your car. Observe how willingly he renders those little extras that add so much to the pleasure of every mile you drive. In short, introduce yourself to that good Gulf service and those top-quality Gulf products, Gulf No-Nox gasoline and Gulf Pride oil. That applause, ladies and gentlemen, means that William Powell and Ginger Rogers are now entering from the wings of the Gulf Theater. And in just a moment, you'll hear Ginger Rogers as Gene Newton and William Powell as David Grant in the Gulf Theater production of Lucky Partners. Now we visit a small town in the middle of New York City, Greenwich Village. Greenwich Village is one place in the world which has not changed, a place where anything is possible, a place where romance, fantasy, and adventure will never be crowded out by subways and taxicabs. The scene opens in Nick's small Italian cafe. The cafe is empty except for Gene Newton, who sits alone at one of the side tables looking worried and upset.
Would you like some coffee, Miss Jean?
Oh, not now, Nick. Please go away. I'm nervous. Oh,
Jean.
Golly. Oh, Aunt Lucy, I'm so glad to see you.
Well, I came in for a cup of tea. Oh, Jean, dear, what's the matter with you?
Oh, it's Freddie.
You mean Freddie you're engaged to?
Yes, he's killing him out in the alley behind the restaurant.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about murder, don't you understand? Freddie is killing Mr. Grant out in the alley behind the restaurant.
Oh, who's Mr. Grant?
The artist from across the street.
Maybe we ought to stop it.
No, it was my idea.
Well, dear, if you think it's all right.
Well, he insulted me, so I sent for Freddie.
Maybe you'd better begin at the beginning. Oh, waiter.
Yes, madam.
Tea and cinnamon toast, please.
Yes, madam.
Now, Jean, how did Mr. Grant insult you?
Well, it all started this morning. I was leaving the house, and I met Mr. Grant. He was coming down the street. He was whistling as he approached, and then suddenly...
Good luck.
What did you say?
I just wish you good luck.
Oh, why?
Oh, no reason.
Well, do you think I need it?
Oh, not at all.
Oh, you just wished me good luck for no reason at all?
Yeah, no reason at all.
Oh, well, thanks.
No, not at all. Bye.
Bye.
Well,
that was all he said.
So you sent for Freddie to kill him?
No, not then, but funny things began to happen. Oh, they've been happening all day.
How funny?
Well, I've had good luck all day.
So you asked Freddie to kill him?
No. That came later. Oh, dear, what's taking them so long?
How big a man is Mr. Grant?
Well, he's not as big as Freddie. Freddie's 6'2", you know.
What does Mr. Grant weigh?
How should I know? He's a sort of an intellectual type.
Oh, poor man. Well, go on, Jean. When did he insult you?
Just a little while ago, I was here in the restaurant having lunch and thinking about all of my good luck, and then Mr. Grant walked in. All of a sudden, a simply marvelous idea came to me. So I got up and I went over to speak to him. May I see you for a minute?
Oh, certainly.
I want to make you a proposition.
Well, that's nice.
I mean, this is a business proposition.
Oh. It's not quite the same thing, is it?
Look, do you want to or don't you?
Well, I can offer you an open mind.
My name is Jean Newton. This is what I want to ask you.
My name's David.
Now, I have an idea.
You know, I like the name of Jean. How do you like David?
Look, this isn't social. It's business.
Oh, of course, so you said. Proceed.
You remember you wished me good luck this morning?
Yes.
Well, I had good luck. I found a $5 bill. I sold a set of encyclopedias at the bookshop, and I hope this isn't going to sound too silly to you.
Oh, no, not at all.
Well, you wished me good luck, and then I had good luck, and suddenly I began to feel lucky. You know how those things sometimes happen.
Mm-hmm.
I had an intuition about it.
A hunch?
That's right. I'm convinced you brought me luck. So I'd like for you to go with me on 50-50 on a sweepstake ticket.
On a what?
You know, a steep straight. Oh, you're making me nervous.
Aye.
Well, stop staring at me that way. This is a perfectly sensible proposition. You bring me luck, so we buy a ticket together, and we win.
Oh, yes, I see.
You see? Well, what do you think about it?
I take it you're anxious to win some money.
Well, I certainly could use some.
What do you want money for?
Freddie Harper and I are going to be married.
And then what?
Well, then we leave for Poughkeepsie.
For your honeymoon?
No, that's where we're going to live.
Well, what about the honeymoon?
Oh, that's not important. Honeymoons are silly.
Oh, don't you believe it?
Oh, the honeymoon can come later, maybe. Besides, I don't see how it concerns you.
Oh, but it does. Because you want me to bring you luck so that you may win money, so that you may marry Freddie, who will take you straight to Poughkeepsie. Can you give me any good reason why a man as sentimental about honeymoons as I happen to be should be a party to any scheme as disgraceful as that?
Look, I didn't think we were going to get into all of this. Maybe we better just forget about the whole idea. I'll ask somebody else who's...
However, I might be willing to sacrifice my principles if, with my share of the sweepstakes winnings, I could do something beautiful.
Oh, I don't care what you do with your share of the money.
Well, my proposition is this.
Uh-huh.
If I may apply my winnings toward a complete and proper honeymoon before you settle down in Poughkeepsie, well, then I'm willing to go 50-50 with you on a ticket.
Oh, well, gosh. That's terribly sweet of you. Oh, but I couldn't let you pay for our honeymoon.
Oh, it'd be a very great pleasure. You see, I'm an artist and a sentimentalist.
Oh. Well, if you insist.
Good. You know, I think we should drink to this. You like Paul Roger 26?
Who?
Champagne. Here. Now, Miss Newton, let's drink a toast to what I confidently expect to be the most wonderful experience of my life.
All right. A toast.
To our honeymoon.
What did you say?
When?
What was that those last few words? Didn't you say our honeymoon?
Yeah, exactly. Our honeymoon.
You mean yours and mine?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Is that what you meant all the time?
Well, of course. We can have a wonderful trip. A honeymoon as the honeymoon should be. Music, flowers, moonlight.
Would you mind waiting here for just a moment?
Oh, will you be back?
Oh, you can count on it. Just wait and see. Mr. Grant, I want you to meet my fiancé, Freddie Harper.
How do you do? How do you do?
Mr. Grant, I want you to repeat to my fiancé the proposition you made me.
Well, Jean tells me that you want to get married.
I have every hope just as soon as Jean saves enough money.
Never mind about that, Freddie. This man insulted me.
He did?
Yes.
I merely said that I shall buy half the sweepstakes ticket on the condition that if we win, Miss Newton will take a little trip.
What's wrong with that?
With him, before I marry you.
What? Did you say that?
Well, yes, I did. But you see, there's a philosophical basis to the whole thing. Now, I have a theory.
Come on outside.
Freddie, what are you going to do?
Now, you stay here, Jean. This is not for your eyes. This way, chum. Out to the
Freddie,
alley.
what are you going to do?
Get going, chum.
Well, very well if you insist, but I think I should explain that this is just an idea.
They're still out there, Aunt Lucy. If Fred murders Mr. Grant, they'll send him to jail. Oh, dear. The back door is opening. It's Fred. Well, I'll be.
Who's that man with Freddie? He's very handsome.
That's Mr. Grant.
They seem very friendly. Freddie has his arm around his shoulder.
Well, Jean, I've been having a little talk with old Dave here.
With whom?
Dave. I call him Dave now. Yes, and I call him Freddie. Very cozy. Here, let's turn the radio off. Now, Jean, good old Dave here has made it all very clear to me.
Yes?
Your hunch is that if Dave goes in on the ticket with you, you're sure to win. That's the idea. All right. He'll do it.
Oh, he will he? On what condition?
Well, you see, Jean, Dave is an eccentric type. He has a lot of peculiar ideas that you and I don't understand. Crazy old Dave, the boys at Yale used to call him.
I'll bet.
Now, all he wants is just to make people happy.
Well, he's not going to make me happy.
He tells me you'll travel as brother and sister. He just wants to be company for you.
I'll say.
It's in the nature of an experiment. Yeah, that's right. An experiment.
What kind of an experiment?
What? Experiment in human nature. Oh. The experiment of taking someone who's about to settle down prosaically in Poughkeepsie and giving them one little shot in the arm of magic and enchantment. A few days of music, flowers, moonlight, sweet dreams on a quite impersonal plane.
Oh, that's lovely, Jean.
How do you mean, impersonal?
Strictly impersonal. You know, like a guide, like a fatherly scientist. Yeah, you know, Jean. Fatherly.
Yes, Jean, fatherly.
Yes, like a nice fatherly fox.
That's right.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Only a little, dear.
Well, all experiments are crazy until they're proved. Yeah. Why, old Dave was shocked when you jumped to the wrong conclusion. You shouldn't think things like that, Jean.
Oh, now I owe him an apology.
Oh, that's all right. Why, if I weren't too busy, I'd like to make that trip with him myself. Niagara Falls and music.
And flowers and moonlight and sweet dreams. Yes, I know.
And you'll travel as brother and sister. Your share of the sweepstakes winnings are yours to keep if you win. Remember that, darling. The experiment will be paid for by David.
Well, all right. I'll try your experiment. I'll be a guinea pig. But let me tell you this. A strictly impersonal guinea pig.
Oh, of course.
And that's the first act of Lucky Partner, starring Ginger Rogers and William Powell. They'll be back in a moment to continue our story, but now the Gulf spotlight falls on a young man whose thoughts have already turned to spring. Bud Heaston.
Well, folks, spring is certainly a season for changes. The birds are changing winter homes for ones further north. You women are thinking about changing to new spring clothes for the Easter parade. And you motorists, well, you're thinking about changing the motor oil in your automobiles. So here's a suggestion. Anytime you need oil, get Gulf Pride motor oil. It's easy to see how good Gulf Pride is by just looking at that little measuring rod under the hood of your car, the rod you use to tell how much oil you have. For that rod shows you that when Gulf Pride is in your crankcase, it stays up to the full mark a long, long time. Your engine runs smoothly, too, and your repair bills are mighty low. You see, this famous oil is refined by the Alchlor process, and as a result, Gulf Pride is more resistant to the chemical breakdown of oil caused by air. And since it is more air-resistant, Gulf Pride forms less sludge, less carbon, less varnish, lasts longer, gives you really fine lubrication. So next time you need oil, or when you're making your spring oil change, stop at the sign of the Gulf Orange Disc for Gulf Pride Motor Oil.
And now the curtain of the Gulf Screen Guild Theater is ready to rise on the second act of Lucky Partners, starring William Powell as David Grant, the psychology-minded artist, and Ginger Rogers as Jean Newton, his unwilling partner in a sweepstakes ticket. And, if they win, his guinea pig for an experimental honeymoon to Niagara Falls.
In addition to the first prize, other lucky sweepstakes winners are Thomas Augustine Lewis of Little Neck, Miss Dawn Ginsburg of Yonkers, Forsyth LaRoche, 4326 Lenox Avenue, Harlem, Jean Newton and David Grant of Greenwich Village.
What are you so happy about, anyway?
Oh, it's very simple, my dear. We won the sweepstakes prize. Now we're on our way to Niagara Falls. How do you like being guinea pig? Is your heart filled with apprehensions?
Look, I don't have to discuss my heart with you, do I?
Oh, not unless you feel the impulse to.
My impulses are under control, thank you.
You know, I think you're still suspicious of me. You're not in a very romantic mood, are you?
Mm-mm.
Perhaps we better talk about something else.
Mm-hmm.
The beauties of nature, perhaps? Or the wonders of science? Now, consider the modern automobile. Consider this car.
Very nice car.
Spark of interest. I'm glad you like this car, because it's yours.
Mine?
Yeah, just slip this owner's certificate into your purse.
But it's my car. Oh, but you shouldn't have done that.
Oh, I told you that if we won, every penny of my share of the sweepstakes money was going to be spent on you.
Freddie would call that a waste of money. I mean, spending money just to have fun. And, well, you know, Freddie's very practical.
Yes, I'm sure he is.
Oh, I must remember to wire Aunt Lucy so she can tell Freddie I've gone.
What, doesn't he know?
No, he was in Poughkeepsie on business when I left.
Oh, we must wire Aunt Lucy. Yeah, by the way, you have a date with me for 10 o'clock tonight.
Oh, no, I haven't.
Well, don't you want any dinner? We shan't get to Niagara Falls until 9:30.
Oh, dinner. Well, all right.
Then, after the salad, pastry.
Yes, sir.
Coffee, Jean?
Yes, please.
Coffee.
Yes, sir.
And champagne. Make it Paul Roger, 26. We have a sentimental association there. Haven't we, Jean, dear?
But what? Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, my sister and I always drink toasts in Paul Roger, 26. Brings us luck, an old family custom.
Yes, sir.
Shall we dance, sister?
Golly, I never thought I'd be doing this.
Walking?
I mean, walking in a beautiful garden in an evening dress. It's so romantic.
Oh, wait. This is what I brought you out to see. The celebrated wishing well.
Oh.
Has remarkable powers. You toss a pebble, and you wish.
Huh. It's funny when you think of it. All those pebbles and what they stood for.
Yes, great big ambitious hopes and modest little ones.
Mm-hmm.
When your heart's very young, you wish on the grand scale. This it must have, that it cannot do without. And then we grow up. And we learn that there's very little the serious heart really needs. Friends, peace, a window open to the world, pride in work well done, and, oh yes, one thing more. Thing I've been talking about since the day I met you. Call it beauty, romance. Call it the bloom that mustn't die.
I know what you mean. It's the thing I thought didn't matter. David.
Yes, Jean?
I owe you an apology.
For what?
For being so suspicious. You've been wonderful to me, David.
It's very easy to be nice to you, Jean.
Well, let's drop some pebbles in the well here. Here goes one for me.
What are you wishing?
I'm not telling.
Well, here goes one for me.
Are you telling?
I wish that your wish, whatever it is, may come true.
Hello.
Jean. David, are you asleep?
Oh, no.
Is the moonlight shining through your window?
Yes. And your roses are right here on the table. And I can hear music from somewhere. Music and flowers and moonlight.
How would you like to jump into your robe and meet me on the balcony just outside our windows? We can talk for a while.
All right, David.
I'll see you there right away. There's something I'm afraid I'm...
David, I don't know what you mean. We've been having such fun, and now suddenly you want to go home in the morning? That's no way to act on a honeymoon.
Well, a bit complicated, Jean. You see, I wasn't fooling when I started this. It really was an experiment. What I did seemed like a good idea at the time.
It was.
But I was deceiving myself.
How do you mean?
I thought I had no ulterior motives. I knew that you thought I had, and that amused me. I tried to play the role of a god. You know, fooling around with people's destinies. I should have known better. It seems that I am somewhat less than godlike, my dear.
Well, not to me.
So I am afraid we must go back to being as we were.
Well, that won't be easy.
Well, good night, Jean.
Good night, David.
Jean.
Yes, David.
Jean. We're going to make believe that this last half hour, this last half minute never happened at all.
But it did happen. You just kissed me. Oh, who could that be?
Let's go in and see.
Jean, it's me. It's Freddie.
Why, Freddie, what are you doing here?
What am I doing here? I want to know what you're doing here.
Easy there, Freddie.
Gene Newton, you're packing and coming home with me right now.
Freddie, I'm afraid I'll have to ask you to be more...
You shut up. You can't grab my girl and...
And what?
That I don't know.
Oh. So you don't trust me.
And I don't trust him. What's he doing here in your room?
He wasn't in my room. He was on the balcony and
well,
I was...
Well, he's in the room now.
David, I'd better talk to Freddie alone, if you don't mind.
I'm sorry if I've caused any trouble between you. That wasn't my intention. Good night.
Now, Mr. Freddie Harper, what brings you here at this hour of the night?
I'm taking you home.
And I'm not going. This was all your idea in the first place anyway.
It was not. It was his idea. Did you think I really meant you could go on this trip?
Didn't you mean it?
Of course not. I was only trying to kip that nut along to get him to buy the sweepstakes ticket with you.
Oh.
I wasn't going to let you go on any trip with any...
You were just lying.
So when I read about you winning the sweepstakes, I hopped a train. And what did I find when I got to New York? Aunt Lucy. Aunt Lucy with a telegram from Niagara Falls.
Freddie Harper, do you mean to say you never intended for me to keep my part of the bargain?
Well, I wouldn't exactly put it that way.
That was just plain dishonest of you. And he's been so generous and sweet and such a darling about the whole thing. And
darling? Do you mean to say he hasn't tried... He hasn't made any... Do you mean he hasn't even kissed you? Well, hasn't he? Has he kissed you?
Yes. Just once.
You see? I'm going to tell that guy where he gets off. He can't take my girl.
What are you going to do?
I'm going down the hall to his room. Where is his room?
Right here, right next door.
Oh, right next door. Very nice, I must say. I'll face him.
Freddie, you're not going to murder him again, are you?
Open up there. Open that door.
He doesn't answer.
I'm coming in, Grant. Get out of the way, Gene. Now, where are you? You... Why, he's not here.
David. Woo! David.
Skipped, eh?
Oh, well, he must have just gone for a walk.
Yeah, and I suppose he took his baggage with him for the exercise.
Give me the desk. Hello? Hello, what's happening, Mr. Grant? Mr. David Grant. Huh? He checked out. Well, did he take the car? Well, how long ago? Oh, well, get me a taxi, please. Yeah, thank you.
Where are you going?
I'm going after that man.
That crook.
Crook? Crook? Yeah, that's it. He stole my car. He's a thief. He took the car.
What car? You haven't got a car.
Oh, yes, I have, and I have the owner's license to prove it.
Huh?
Freddie, I have to leave, but I want you to get on the phone and call that toll bridge on the road to New
What
York.
toll bridge?
Tell the police that David Grant has stolen the car and that they have to stop him.
But...
It's a green car and it belongs to me. And tell him he's a crook and to hold him until I arrive. So long.
Now, wait, don't you want me to go with you?
Oh, I certainly do not. You called David a crook. Let me tell you something. David has been honorable and just lovely from the very beginning, and you've been the bad one. You've been suspicious and evil-minded, and oh, Freddie, you're all right. I don't mean it, really. You're all right. It's just that I'm so. Well, I'll tell you another time. Call the toll bridge. Goodbye.
For heaven's sake.
Thanks for getting me out of the clutches of the law.
Oh, that's all right.
I might have ended my days in prison but for you.
Oh, don't mention it.
I can't figure out how the policeman at this toll bridge knew the car wasn't registered in my name.
Awfully clever, these policemen.
Yes, you arrived in the nick of time.
Yes. Wasn't it fortunate, wasn't it?
Nice of you to talk him out of it.
Not at all, not at all.
I wasn't stealing it, you know. I was just driving it home.
Sure.
It occurred to me that you You might like to drive home with Freddie. But now I'll take a taxi to the train, and you may have the car. Well, I better be getting on. Bye.
David.
Yes, Jean?
Why did you run away?
I'm afraid you know.
Well, I want you to say it.
Well, the music, the flowers, and the moonlight must have been working overtime. They were intended for you, but they went to work on me.
And say it.
Say what?
You know.
And so do you. You know it now, and I almost believe you knew it that morning when I saw you in the street and I said to you, good luck. I think you knew it then, even though I didn't.
I knew what then?
You know.
What?
I haven't the right to say it, Jean.
Who says you haven't? I say you have. You're just stalling. Oh, why do men find it so difficult just to say...
Say, I love you?
What did you say?
I love you.
I didn't hear you.
I love you.
Well, why didn't you say it that way in the first place?
Thank you, William Powell and Ginger Rogers. Your appearance here in the Gulf Screen Guild Theater tonight marks another milestone in the progress of the work of the Motion Picture Relief Fund. For as you know, ladies and gentlemen, all the stars who appear here in the Gulf Theater donate their performances, making it possible for Gulf to make a generous weekly contribution to the Motion Picture Relief Fund toward the building of a home for those of the picture industry who may be in need. Next week, we've got another hit on our hands. Gulf presents Carol Lombard and Fred McMurray in the motion picture comedy that had the whole country in stitches, True Confession. It's a story about two newlyweds, played by Fred McMurray and Carol Lombard. And things begin to happen the moment Fred finds out that his bride is a charming but incurable liar. Carol's fabrications get them in hot water again and again, and finally, they wind up as the feature attraction in a murder trial. It's a show you won't want to miss. The Gulf Screen Guild Theater production of True Confession from the Gulf Theater next week with Carol Lombard and Fred McMurray. The music, of course, by Oscar Bradley's Gulf Orchestra with Frank Tours conducting. Until then, this is Roger Pryor saying good night, everyone, for your neighborhood good Gulf dealer.
Ginger Rogers now shooting at RKO on her newest picture, Tom, Dick, and Harry. William Powell will soon be seen with Myrna Loy in MGM's Love Crazy. Next week, from the Gulf Theater, a treat for the whole family. Carol Lombard and Fred McMurray in True Confession. Don't miss it. Bud Easton speaking. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Lombard, Fred McMurray.
The Gulf Screen Guild Theater. Your host, the director of the Star's own theater, Roger Pryor.
Good evening, everyone. Your neighborhood good Gulf dealer and the Gulf Oil Companies welcome you to the Gulf Screen Guild Theater. I guess you've all heard about the man who couldn't tell a lie. Well, our story tonight is about a woman who couldn't tell the truth. Carol Lombard is the woman, and her husband, to whom she does most of her lying, is played by Fred McMurray. The story, one of the screen's great comedies, True Confession, adapted for radio by Charles Tazwell and Bill Hampton, and with music by Oscar Bradley's Gulf Orchestra with Frank Tours conducting. In just a minute now, you'll be meeting Carol Lombard and Fred McMurray in True Confession. And I know that at some time or other, you've seen the names of tonight's Gulf Theater stars in big letters on the brilliantly lighted marquee of your local theater. I know, too, that when driving to your theater in the evening, you've no doubt passed another brilliantly lighted spot, dedicated not to entertainment, but to service. Cheerful, friendly service. I mean, of course, the station of your neighborhood good Gulf dealer. Next time, why not drive in for a few minutes and get to know your Gulf dealer? You'll find him eager to help you and always ready to extend any or all of Gulf dealer's many courtesy services. He'll gladly do such helpful things as checking your battery or your radiator, cleaning your windshield, or wiping off your headlights. He'll do everything within his power to make every minute you spend in your automobile more enjoyable. And he's the fellow who can make motoring more enjoyable, not only because of his fine service, but also because of his splendid products. For instance, Gulf Pride Motor Oil and Gulf No-Nox Gasoline. So next time, don't pass by. Drive in. Get acquainted with your neighborhood good Gulf dealer. You just can't help applauding when Fred McMurray and Carol Lombard make their entrances on the Gulf Theater stage. In our play tonight, they're known as the Bartletts, Ken and Helen Bartlett, played by Fred and Carol, respectively. And now, here's the first act of True Confession.
Dear Diary, I'm so miserably unhappy because Ken is mad at me again. And simply because he caught me telling a perfectly infinitesimal little fib. Maybe Ken's left me forever, just as he did last week and the week before that. If he has, I'll poison myself. No, I won't listen every time I hear that little note in my head. I get in trouble, but I'm not going to lie anymore, even to myself. Oh, dear Diary, I love Ken so much. He's got to come back to me so he can meet Mr. Crouch. Because if he doesn't, people will never find out. Ken's not only the most handsome and wonderful husband in the world, but he's a brilliant lawyer, even if no one has even given him a case. Oh, dear Diary, why doesn't Ken come home? If he does, from this moment on, Diary, I'm going to tell the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth, even if it kills me. And never... Oh, Kenny's come back to forgive me. Ken, darling, Oh, it's you again.
Sure, it's me.
Look, these are stirring times. Can't you find something more patriotic to do than going around dunning people for typewriter payments?
Please, no more talk, lady. Do I get my $12 or do I take the typewriter?
Well, I guess you take the typewriter.
That's what I thought. Is that it on the table?
Yes, help yourself. Well, after all, why should I worry about what happens to you?
What was that, lady? What's going to happen?
Well, I was talking about my husband, but if you hurry, maybe he won't see you. You see, he's insane.
Insane?
He's absolutely nuts.
Is that so? Is he locked up?
Oh, no. We're trying to get him away quietly. He's been crazy ever since that terrible night our baby died.
Oh, I'm sorry, lady.
Yes. The first time I realized that it affected Ken's mind was about a week ago. I woke up and saw a light on in there. I tiptoed in, and there was Ken, my own husband, smiling at the typewriter, talking baby talk and patting it.
Patting it?
Just like this. Oh, it was heartbreaking. He thinks that typewriter is our baby, our little Harold.
Oh, ain't that awful?
Oh, but that isn't the worst. Do you know what he said when he saw me? He stood right there, patting that typewriter, and he said, I love my baby more than life itself, and I'll kill the first person who tries to harm it.
Gosh, a guy like that ought to be locked up before he gets violent. I guess the best thing to do is to get this baby, this typewriter out of here before...
Helen?
Oh, there's my husband now. Hello, Ken.
How's my baby?
Baby? Oh, jeepers, where'll I put the typewriter?
Hang on to it.
Yeah, but what'll he...
Just tell him you're rocking it to sleep.
Yeah, but suppose that...
Hello, darling. Oh, I didn't know you had a visitor.
Oh, he's really not a visitor, Ken. This is Mr. McDougal, the new... Oh, Mr. McDougal, our new neighbor.
Oh, well, glad you dropped in, Miss McDougal. Hey, why are you holding that...
You mean baby?
I was just rocking it to sleep before I left. It was all tired out, poor little fella.
What was that?
No need to get upset, Mr. Bartlett. I'll put the little fella down here on the dive van.
Say, you both sound as though you'd had a drink or you need one. Sit down, Mr. McDougal. I'll go out in the kitchen and mix up a batch of poison.
Hurry, you better leave before he comes back.
Don't worry. When he gets here, I'll be miles away. That's not going to poison me. No, sir. I got my health to think of.
Who was that, Helen?
Who was what, darling?
Did I hear the front door?
Oh, yes, that was Mr. McDougal. He had to go.
Must have been an awful hurry.
Oh, never mind about him. Oh, Ken, I've missed you so much.
I've only been gone since breakfast.
But you went away mad. You didn't even kiss me.
Well, do you blame me? After I came into the room last night and discovered you told people I was a reformed bank robber?
Well, I didn't mean to, but the other women were all bragging about their husbands. Oh, darling, don't ever leave me, promise.
I'll promise you one thing, Helen. If you don't stop lying, one of these days I'm going to walk out of this house. I'm going to walk all the way to China.
But, honey, I've reformed. Honestly, I haven't told a single story all day long.
No? Helen, why did the grocer send flowers to my office?
Flowers? Well, I can't imagine, Ken.
It was a wreath. And across the top it said, "Rest in peace."
Oh, really? Well, the florist must have made a mistake in the address. There's been so much sickness lately. You know, people dying like
Helen,
flies.
you didn't by any chance tell the grocer I was dead.
Why, Ken, dear, why should I tell him?
Did you?
All I said to the man was...
I said, did you?
Well, I may have slightly intimated it. He was pestering me with the bill
Helen,
and...
I ought to wring your neck.
Well, go ahead and get mad at me. Let's have it over with.
Oh, what's the use? I've done that. I'm living a nightmare. The darndest nightmare a man ever lived.
Well, I didn't mean to tell him you were dead. It just popped out.
Yeah, as usual.
But I wouldn't have had to tell him anything if I'd had the money to pay him.
Oh, that's right. It's all my fault. I'm a rank failure as a lawyer, so you have to lie for our living.
You're not a failure. How can you be a failure when you've never had a case?
Now, well, the way it looks, I probably never will get one either.
Oh, but Ken, you have got one.
Where, Helen?
Well, he's coming here to see you. He's our butcher's wife's cousin, and his first name is Mr. Crouch.
Yeah? What kind of a case is it?
Oh, mistaken identity. He's accused of stealing a carload of hams. Isn't that ridiculous? Who would want a whole carload of hams? Oh, that must be him now. Oh, hello? Oh, yes, sir, Mr. Crouch, right up. He's coming right up, Ken.
Are you sure he's innocent, Helen?
Oh, there's not the slightest doubt, darling. Just wait till you see him. He's a solid, upright, law-abiding citizen, the soul of honor, and besides, he's a vegetarian. He doesn't like ham.
Oh. Well, if he's innocent, I'll be glad to represent him, Helen. But if he's guilty, I won't handle it.
Oh, here he is now. Oh, come right in, Mr. Crouch. I've been telling my husband about your case. He's terribly interested. Ken, this is Mr. Crouch.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Crouch?
They can't prove a thing.
Oh. That's fine, Mr. Crouch. Now, before we delve into the facts of this case, I want you to know that I have my own code of ethics. I'm a stickler for honesty.
Yeah, so what?
Well, what my husband means is he wants to know if you stole the hams, which you didn't, did you?
Nah.
There, you see, darling.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, Mr. Crouch, because I absolutely refuse to defend a guilty man. Now, about a retainer fee, would $100 be all right?
Yeah, it's okay by me, buddy.
Oh, thank you.
Of course, you'll have to wait for your dough.
Wait? How long?
Until I sell the hams.
Until you... Get out! Get out of here!
Hey!
Ken.
Hey, what's the idea?
I said get out of here before I throw you out, you lawbreaker.
Okay, buddy, I don't think you're much of a mouthpiece anyhow. And you just wait till I tell my Aunt Baker about this.
Oh, Ken.
So that's your honest, upright citizen.
Ken, how could you? You've insulted the cousin of our own butcher's wife.
But, Helen, he stole the ham.
Well, what difference does it make? Somebody's got to represent him, don't they?
I won't defend a lawbreaker. You know that.
How can we live if you won't take a perfectly good case when it's offered to you? Ken, we've got to have money to live on, and if you must hang on to your honor, I've got to get a job.
You'll do nothing of the kind. Bad enough to know I'm a failure myself without advertising it to the whole world.
Oh, but I've been offered a perfectly lovely position by an old friend of my great-uncle, Mr. Otto Kraler.
Otto Kraler? That old ape's had more secretaries than a business college.
Well, he may be an ape, but is $50 a week peanut?
$50 for what?
Being his secretary.
You can't take shorthand.
Well, he's willing to pay me while I'm learning.
Oh, he is he?
Please, Ken.
No.
But, Ken...
I said no. And do you know what I'll do if you ever go out and get a job behind my back?
Yes? You'll leave me.
That's right. Are you going to try it?
No.
Are you telling the truth?
Why, Ken, didn't I promise I'd never lie again? Why,
Darling, if you're so against it, Otto Kraler is a closed chapter in my life. Why, I wouldn't dream of even speaking to Otto Kraler. Oh, I'm very sorry, Mr. Kraler. I do hope you'll forgive me for being late to work on my first day.
Oh, that's quite all right, my dear. Nothing to get upset about. I want you to be very happy here.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Kraler.
Otto.
What?
Call me Otto.
Oh, certainly, Otto.
We're going to be great friends, yes, indeed. I can see we're going to like each other a lot.
You understand, I haven't had much experience. Would you mind letting go of my hand? I've never taken dictation. Mr. Kraler, please, I don't think you should do that. But I mean to get one of those shorthand books. Don't you think you'd better answer your mail, Mr. Kraler? Well, I realize $50 a week is a big salary, but Mr. Kraler, will you stop following me? I really didn't know the secretaries got so much exercise. Mr. Kraler, think of your blood pressure. Mr. Kraler, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Mr. Kraler, if you don't stop chasing me, I'll hit you right in the stomach. Mr. Kraler, I quit.
Hello?
Ken, darling, it's me.
Helen, where are you? I've been waiting hours for you to come home.
Well, you better not wait, Ken. I don't think I'll be home.
Why not?
Well, they want me to stay here.
Stay where?
I'm in jail. Haven't you seen the paper?
No. Helen, what are you doing in jail? Oh, I get it. Just another one of your cock and bull stories.
No, Ken, I'm really in jail. They say I killed Otto Kraler, and they're calling me the butterfly with the kiss of death, which is perfectly ridiculous. Because I didn't kiss him in any way, I didn't do it. No, Ken, I'm so miserable, and if you love me in any kind of a lawyer, you'll do something to get me out.
No, don't get excited, Helen. I'll be right down. Now, just sit tight and keep a stiff upper lip and don't talk. Whatever you do, don't talk. For just once in your life, please, Helen, for my sake, for your sake, for the sake of our future life together, don't say a word to anyone till I get there. If you start talking, it's an absolute cinch. We'll both get the chair.
And that brings to a close Act One of True Confession. The curtain at the Gulf Screen Guild Theater will rise on Act Two in just a moment. So during the next few seconds, we'd like to say a word about today and also ask you a question. All right, Bud?
Today being Easter, you're probably all set for spring, your house spick and span, and you yourself feeling very much in the spirit of things with your new Easter outfit. But how about your car? Is it, too, all set for spring? Have you drained out that thin winter oil, put in a fresh supply of Gulf Pride, and changed to summer-grade gear lubricants? Have you had your car thoroughly lubricated recently? Well, those are the services that will make your car feel like spring, make you feel like driving just for fun. Best of all, your Good Gulf dealer is now offering his own Big Top Special, a sort of combination package, including all the services that your car needs now. So start this most pleasant driving season of the year with a clean crankcase full of Gulf Pride, fresh gear lubricants, and a car lubricated perfectly at every point by Gulf's new exclusive Gulf Flex system. See your Good Gulf dealer tomorrow for his money-saving Big Top Special and see for yourself how much more enjoyable it is to drive a car that's in tune with the season.
And now the curtain at the Gulf Screen Guild Theater rises on the second act of True Confession, starring Fred McMurray as Ken Bartlett, the young lawyer whose code of ethics has kept them from ever having a case, and Carol Lombard as Helen Bartlett, his wife, whose habitual disregard for the truth has put her in jail, charged with the murder of an elderly playboy. Helen is being grilled in her cell by Detective Darcy.
Ask me some more questions. Give me the works, Mr. Darcy. I don't mind talking because I have nothing to hide. Why, I wouldn't lie to you any more than George Washington or Lincoln or Grant or Shakespeare.
Mrs. Bartlett.
What?
Did you kill Otto Kraler?
I didn't kill Otto. All I did was run out of the house.
Why did you run out of his house?
Because I was tired of running around his study.
Why did you return to the scene of your crime?
I went back after my hat. I dropped it when I hit him.
You expect us to believe he was killed by 2 fist marks through his head? What did you do with the gun? What did you do with the money that's missing from his desk? What was your motive? There sits Otto, the man you thought loved you. He's cast to a side, and you stand there hating him as only a dame can hate.
Oh, that's wonderful, Detective. Look, I'm all goose flesh.
All at once, out comes your gun from your handbag, and you let him have it. Bam!
No, Bam Bam!
All right, Bam Bam. Otto falls. You take it on the lam. Well, what do you say to that, Mrs. Bartlett?
Oh, it's perfectly thrilling. What do I get for that?
The chair.
Oh. Well, you know what I think?
What?
I think you're crazy, and I'm going home.
No, you don't. Sit down. Look me in the eye.
Which eye?
Any eye. Now, you listen to me. I ain't playing games. I'm serious. Won't you please believe I'm serious?
Oh, Ken, darling, I'm so glad to see you.
Hello, honey. You haven't talked, have you?
Oh, I haven't even opened my mouth, but you don't know what I've been through. They've given me the 3rd degree 3 times.
Oh, you poor kid. Well, Helen, things look pretty bad. But I'll do everything I can, both as your husband and your lawyer. Our best bet is to take a plea of guilty and say it was self-defense.
But, Ken, I'm not guilty. I didn't kill Otto.
Helen, there's no use lying. The police can prove that the bullets came from your gun.
What gun?
My gun that they found in our apartment. The 2 shells had been fired.
But I fired those last summer at a tree out in the country.
You did? Well, that changes the whole case. We'll dig the bullets out of the tree and plead not guilty.
We can't dig them out.
Why not?
I missed the tree.
Just another one of your lies, huh? I might have known it.
But, Ken...
Helen, you can't lie your way out of murder. We'll plead guilty.
We'll do nothing of the kind. I didn't kill him.
Do you realize what'll happen if you insist on pleading not guilty?
What?
Why, they'll...
They'll what? Prove that I am guilty and electrocute me?
Well, let's not talk about it. If you, as my client, insist you're not guilty, I'll enter a plea and fight for you the best I can and hope for the best, but...
Well, perhaps if I told the jury my story...
No, Helen. Helen, we're going to fight this thing honestly and openly. And if we can't win the right way, the honest way, we don't want to win.
We don't want to win? Oh, no.
Now, don't get upset, Helen. It's too early to worry.
Ken, suppose you told the jury I was guilty, what would happen?
Well, that would leave the way open for a self-defense argument.
Oh. Yes, Ken, I can just see you standing there at the bar of justice, fighting for the life of a woman whose only crime was defending herself against the brutal advances of a wolf in human form. And you, with a shaft of bright sunlight on your head like a halo, the protector of womanhood. Oh, Ken, do you know something?
What, Helen?
I killed Otto Kraler.
Quiet in the court! Sounds like cat day at a dog show. Hey, what's that man selling out there?
Souvenirs of the trial, Your Honor. Replicas of the blamed bullet that blasted Broker.
Outrageous! What's he charging for them?
2 bits, Your Honor.
You don't say. Well, get me one, will you? Now, Mr. Bartlett, will you please continue the defense of your wife, Helen Bartlett?
Yes, Your Honor. With your permission, we will reenact for the jury the events leading up to the death of Otto Kraler on the fateful morning of August 8th. I will play Otto Kraler, and my wife will play herself.
Is this play you're going to do fact or fiction?
Fact, Your Honor. The true story is told to me by my wife, Helen Bartlett.
Very well. Curtain.
The scene is Otto Kraler's study. The defendant enters and says...
Well, what does she say?
Go ahead, Helen.
Oh, is that me? I'm sorry. Oh, good morning, Mr. Kraler. I'm sorry I'm late, but I had to get breakfast for my dear husband.
Ah, what a pity it is to soil those lovely hands with the drudgery of housework. Come, my dear, sit down, here on my lap.
Oh, no, sir. That would be most unconventional. You must remember, I'm only your secretary.
But Helen, you were made for love, not for letters. Come to my hungry arms, my little white dove.
Sir, you forget yourself. You have no right to touch me.
Oh, but I have every right. You are working for me.
Tommy, must a woman put up with this just because she must take in typewriting to support her husband?
I will make you forget your husband. I will cover you with jewels, deck you with diamonds.
Stay there! Don't you dare kiss me!
I must. I will.
You cur!
Your lips intoxicate me, Helen.
Help, Mr. Crater. If you don't stop chasing me, I will strike you in the stomach! Oh, Ken, darling, I'm sorry.
No, go on, Helen, go on.
Oh, all right. You cur!
You'll pay for this, my proud beauty. No woman can do this to Otto Kraler, the great lover. If I can't have you, I'll kill you.
You fiend! You have now driven me to insanity, and I don't know what I'm doing. See, I have a gun, too. Well, I just happen to have it, thank heavens, in my handbag for no reason at all.
Come to my arms, to love.
Stop! Come one step closer and I'll fire. Merciful heaven, what am I about to do? Yet I must do it. I must. Bang! Another bang! Oh, what have I done? I've killed him, Otto Kraler, the depraved merchant prince who believed his filthy gold and priceless jewels could buy womankind's most priceless possession. Her good name is dead. Thank you.
Extra paper, read all about a gun wife acquitted. Extra. Jury frees honor killer of Otto Kraler. Read all about it. Helen Bartlett wins freedom.
Sign right here, Mrs. Bartlett. This contract calls for a 20-week cross-country lecture tour, $1,000 a week, all expenses. Thank you.
The Graphic Express will pay you $1 a word for 20 articles titled My Life, My Struggle, Mrs. Bartlett. Sign here, please. Thank you.
Seats in the balcony, no waiting. The stage show starring Helen Bartlett begins in just a few moments. Mrs. Bartlett's act demonstrates the finer points of wing shooting and the care of handling firearms. Keep in line, please. Thank
you. Dear diary, it's been a whole year since I didn't shoot Otto Kraler, and everything is wonderful. Ken is the busiest lawyer in town, and we have an apartment in the city and a house in the country. Which goes to prove, dear diary, that the truth may be stranger than fiction, but it doesn't pay as well. If I hadn't said I killed Otto, Ken would still be a lawyer without any practice to practice on, and I'd be stalling off the butcher, the baker, Why, Ken, darling, you're home early. Why, I wasn't expecting you for hours and hours. Well, is anything wrong? Why, have you got a headache, dear? Did you lose something? Ken, what are you doing?
I'm packing.
Packing? Are we going someplace?
I'm going someplace.
Ken, what's the matter with you?
I'm leaving.
You mean forever?
Longer than that.
But why, Ken?
You ridicule justice, my profession, me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You didn't kill Otto Kraler.
I didn't?
You know darn well you didn't.
Why? Whatever makes you think that?
A man came to my office today. He had a wallet with Otto Kraler's name on it. His brother killed Kraler when Otto discovered him robbing the house.
Oh, you're surely not going to fall for a story like that. It's perfectly obvious to me that the brother is trying to horn in on some of my publicity.
The brother happens to be dead.
Oh.
Is that all you can say? Go ahead, think up a hot one.
Well, I...
Good. For the first time in your life, you're speechless.
Well, I don't blame you for being mad at me, Ken. Honestly, I don't. If I were you, I'd be mad, too. But I love you, Ken, and I don't care what happens. I still love you.
Come on, let me get my pants.
I don't know why I did it. Those aren't your best pants. But it seemed at the time everything would work out better if I lied, and it did, too, up to now.
Oh, yes. Everything worked out swell. Where are my best pants? Here we are, both successful, standing on the biggest lie in the history of mankind.
Your best pants haven't come back from the cleaners. Oh, Ken, I know this is all a nightmare to you, and I don't think I can ever explain it to you so you could understand.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Helen Bartlett killed to save her good name. There you stood in court laughing at me, laughing at the judge, laughing at justice. How could you lie about a thing like that, Helen?
Hello, Mr. Moskowitz?
How could you make a fool of your lawyer and your own husband?
Could you send over Mr. Bartlett's best
How could you leave a possible criminal at large who might already be plotting against his next victim?
All right, Mr. Moskowitz. Ken, your pants won't be ready until tomorrow. Will you wait for them?
No, I'm going so far away I won't even know what year it is. Goodbye.
Ken, wait, dear. Would it make any difference if I promised to always tell the truth from now on?
No, you promised that before. I still love you, Helen, in spite of everything. But I'll be darned if I can live a life like ours. Goodbye. I'll write you when I get settled. You can send me my pen.
Ken, darling.
What?
Well, I'll always think kindly of you and if it's a boy, I'll name it after you, Ken.
Did you say boy, Helen? Mm-hmm. Oh, Helen, why didn't you tell me?
Well, I wanted to surprise you.
Oh, Helen, I never dreamed that...
Oh, it was my little secret, though. Darling, you're not going away now, are you?
No. Oh, of course not, Helen. Tell me. When's it going to be?
What?
I said, when's it going to be?
Oh, I don't know exactly.
Well, what did the doctor say?
What?
I said, what did the doctor say?
Oh, the doctor. The doctor.
Helen, this is the last straw. You've had me a bank robber, you've had me a corpse, you've had me a raving maniac, and now you've even had me a father, and even that isn't true.
Well, why couldn't it be true?
Huh?
Well, why couldn't it be true?
Helen Bartlett, I think this is going to be your last lie.
Oh, Ken.
The curtain comes down on our Gulf Screen Guild Theater production of True Confession. And while Carol Lombard and Fred McMurray are taking their curtain calls, may I remind you that their performances tonight are donated. The money Gulf would ordinarily pay to our stars is given instead to the Motion Picture Relief Fund to help care for those of the picture industry who are in need. Next week, a new situation. Now, a private secretary in love with her boss is not a novelty. But a secretary who gets a chance to marry her boss for business reasons only and then sets out on a campaign to snag him for keeps is something different. It's the story of Hired Wife, which we will present from the stage of the Gulf Screen Guild Theater next Sunday. The stars, Melvin Douglas and Joan Blondell. Hired Wife was one of the hit motion picture comedies of the season. And in the able hands of Joan Blondell and Melvin Douglas, it's a show you don't want to miss. In addition to Hired Wife, we'll have the good fortune of bringing to you Mary Pickford in one of her rare appearances on the air. Be with us next Sunday, won't you? When you'll hear Melvin Douglas and Joan Blondell in Hired Wife and Mary Pickford. The music, of course, by Oscar Bradley's Gulf Orchestra with Frank Tours conducting. Until next Sunday, then, this is Roger Pryor speaking for your neighborhood good Gulf dealer and saying good night, everyone.
Carol Lombard's current release is Mr. and Mrs. Smith from RKO Studios. Fred McMurray can soon be seen in Paramount's One Night in Lisbon. Roger Pryor's latest for Paramount is Power Dive. Remember, Gulf brings the comedy hit of 1940 to your radio next Sunday night. Hired Wife, starring Melvin Douglas and Joan Blondell. Don't miss it. Bud Heaston speaking. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.